It has been said. That in the end of all things, we would find a new beginning.
I think this is the first time that we've ever reviewed a video game for a second time.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time we've ever had enough of a major release. And I considered briefly not even doing this because we're talking about Diablo 3 here on Rage Select today. I considered
The console version.
the Xbox 360 PS3 version that came out. But I'm only considering this because I felt like when we reviewed Diablo 3, I had finished it and you hadn't.
I think you're right.
And
yeah.
now you have finished it, so I feel like I'm going to kind of take a step back here and let you do the introductions. And I say, why don't we do the first part here? Why don't we tell people, why don't we pretend like everybody we're talking to has never played Diablo 3?
Okay.
What
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, the second part we can talk to people who have played Diablo 3 who you can tell a little bit of difference to. So why don't you sum up what happens in Diablo?
Okay, Diablo 3 is very... Well, the whole Diablo series is really...
Is it repetitive?
Well, I don't want to say it has a tight storyline, but it very much continues from what's happened in Diablo 1 and Diablo 2.
Sure.
With the Black Soul Stone and stuff like that. But the
It's like
series...
Die Hard 3, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
How does the same thing happen to the same guy three times?
Pretty much, yeah. But this Diablo 3 is there's a star that falls to Earth, and it pretty much lands on Deckard Cain, the character, the old wise man.
Is it David Bowie?
No, it is not. It is a brother from another planet.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Clarify.
But that crashes to Earth on Deckard Cain, pretty much. The wise man from the Diablo franchise.
This mental image of come stay a while and
shit!
Oh, birds! Oh, birds!
I got hit by a star. But you go into this town. Who knows why you're there? You go into this town. It's being attacked by zombies. They're like, oh, it's got something to do with the star that landed. So you go check out the star, and you find Deckard Cain in there. And then eventually, this is not much of a spoiler, you find out that the star is a fallen angel. And he's like, oh, the primevals, they're doing some nefarious shit again. And, all those Azathoth and Belial and all
Somebody
that.
needs to really just destroy the shit. I guess outside of Diablo, most of them tend to stay dead, right? And most of the ones you kill, they don't tend to keep coming back to life.
Yeah, well, in this, there are only a couple of them left.
Yeah.
So you got to hunt them down. And, of course, the whole thing becomes, you're the archetypal dungeon crawl, really. Just click, 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 kill, 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 grab stuff, outfit your gear with better gear, and just keep...
So a kind of a Diablo-esque type of game, is that what you're saying?
It's very Diablo-esque.
Sort of like Diablo?
Yeah. Very Diablo-esque. And so, you proceed through 4 acts in this one, trying to get to the climax and save the world from evil, and it's Diablo.
Here's the big question the big question probably on everybody's mind is how does it control?
It controls really well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like you don't miss, because to me Diablo is pretty synonymous with the whole click, 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 click. Just billions of mouse clicks every second type of thing.
Right.
And when we were playing it, it felt a little weird to me having to run my guy up and hit an attack button on a thing instead of just clicking on it, having him automatically do it.
It only feels weird if that's the paradigm you're set to, which everybody is if that's what you're expecting. But really, if you're playing it, it controls really smoothly. It feels like a console game, and all of your buttons are mapped, like every one of them. And as you level, you will unlock different abilities. It's like, okay, hey, you unlocked the X button now.
Right.
You unlocked the right bumper and so forth. And as you keep leveling up, there are different powers that you can map to each of your buttons, and then you can upgrade those powers. So there's a lot of customization there with just the powers and abilities, and that is aside from the well-known inventory management game that Diablo is.
Diablo Tris.
Well, they don't have that though.
Oh yeah, because it just automatically kind of fills.
Yeah, it
appropriately.
Because in Diablo you had that thing where you've got this grid and you had to fit all of your inventory in there, and it's like, okay, well, I've got a couple of squares here. I'm going to rearrange this to take up these squares, and I'm going to put this over in that square. You know, this just kind of automatically does it for you in kind of a rudimentary encumbrance system.
Okay,
and once you're full, it'll tell you. And you've got a little number like, okay, you've got your inventory is 23 out of 40 or whatever.
And that's just the number of slots, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have to play the little Tetris game where you're moving stuff around in blocks and stuff like that. You're just like, you're either full or you're not. And once you're full, you port back to town, you sell your stuff, or you drop some stuff to pick up better stuff. You know, and
then go back out and repeat until you're dead.
Yeah, it still very much is an inventory management game, and that's actually one of the few problems with this game.
Okay.
In that the difference between this and the PC version, in the PC version when you're playing with other people, they've got their own PC.
Right.
And they're playing on their own screen. So if you want to do inventory management and compare, like, oh, these Greaves of +5 to Greedo.
Greedo doesn't need +5, man.
That's true.
It's already maxed out.
That's true. Let's see if it's better than these, gauntlets of curb stomping.
Yeah.
But in this, with the console version, you're all playing on the screen at the same time.
This is the local multiplayer.
With the local multiplayer, right. Yeah, you can actually play online with other people and everything. But the most fun, really, I think the biggest benefit that this has is doing local multiplayer where it feels like Gauntlet.
Right,
you can get 4 people on the screen at the same time, and it's mayhem. I'm not going to lie.
I was there.
Yeah.
We played it with 3 people.
Yep. Yeah, and but the problem is you'll go for just a little ways through a dungeon, and suddenly you'll get all sorts of stuff, and one person's like, wait, stop, I want to check this out. I want to see what this is, what I picked up. And then everybody has to do that, so it'll bring the game to a grinding halt. So everybody can't keep playing while someone else is reorganizing their inventory.
Right.
So there's a drawback to having everyone on the screen at the same time.
Okay.
But it is a great party environment when you're playing that all together.
Did you played this with Allison, right?
I did, yeah,
okay.
A lot.
Did you ever turn to her and say, just fucking wait till we get to town, you noob?
I did.
Like, fucking stop it. I just want to kill Diablo, man.
Yeah, we would run for a while, and okay, stop, we gotta check this out. Okay, and then I was just like, I'm waiting until we finish the end of the quest. We're just going to get to the end of the quest, and then we're going to look at all the loot we've picked up.
I feel like the two of you may have been diametrically opposed in Allison's completionist tendencies and probably wanting to have the best of everything at all times. And you just like, I just want to play.
It's funny you say that. She said, I could tell you were used to playing games fast so that you can finish them and review them, because Allison wants to turn over every stump.
Yep.
Go into every crypt, and I'm just like, there's nothing over there. There's nothing over there. She's like, well, there might be gold snacks.
Gold snacks.
Yeah.
Yummy.
And so
delicious.
We were crawling over every square inch of Sanctuary. Everything. Nothing was left standing.
Yep.
If there was a vase, it had to be shattered.
Okay, so let me ask you. I already know the answer to this. It has the same thing in Diablo where if you quit the game and you come back in, the map re-randomizes and all the monsters come back.
Right.
Okay. Did that threaten your wife's sanity? Because I'm partially completionist, and that shit was on.
No.
Got on my tits right away.
I made sure.
Yeah.
I made sure that we played until we reached
the end of an act.
The end of an not the end of an act, but the end of a mission, so that we wouldn't have to go through places we had been again.
Jason, did she
ever
want her
go
to
back? Find out?
She never knew?
No.
She didn't know the entire time?
No, she did not. Because then she was I knew she was going to look at the map and go, well that area is grayed out. We have to go. No.
Oh Lord. Okay, so here's a question: can you get more than 4 people in? It's 4 people max.
I think
right?
it's just 4 max.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you play any with people online?
Why would I do that?
I didn't think so. But
no.
Okay. Well, then I tell you what. Let's move back as we kind of mixed all of our metaphors up here in spite of my wonderful plan. this is the first time that you've seen the story of Diablo 3 from start to finish. For people who are interested,
No, I did finish Diablo 3 on the PC.
Oh, you did?
I
okay.
did. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then I tell you what. Just for this version, going back and playing it again, I mean, how do you feel about the story of Diablo 3?
Well,
Would you recommend it to people?
It's good, but the thing is, it's been so long between Diablo 1 and 2, and they carry over so much.
Yeah.
There's so many characters that are reintroduced, and it's so much more valuable if you're familiar with, if you know who Deckard Cain is, if you know who Adria is, and you know who Wirt is.
Right.
So you've really got to, and I didn't remember a lot of this, so you go back and read the wiki and stuff like that, and it'll be a lot more valuable. But it's something that your enjoyment of the story is really predicated on how much you remember from playing Diablo 1 and 2. But Diablo 2 came out a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then before that, Diablo 1 came out a long time.
Very true.
And so, the story is cool and everything, and it's interesting, and lots of, betrayals and new characters coming into it and old characters reappearing. But if you're not intimately familiar with the Diablo mythos, then you're going to lose a lot.
Did you? So, I mean, you saying that, but for you, or let's say for Allison, because has Allison played all the rest of the Diablo games?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No.
So, was her primary focus more just completing the area, more in just the gameplay, and less in the actual story and a sub story and a subsection of this story?
There are characters that do things and then disappear.
Yeah.
Which is clearly so that they can come back in an expansion pack or in Diablo 4 or whatever, and.
No, the expansion. There's an expansion coming.
I know. Yeah. And it's after we were done, and we immediately started back up in nightmare mode.
Of course, that's what you do.
Yeah, because
you don't stop playing Diablo.
It lets you, of course, keep your loot and keep your abilities and everything. It's a little bit harder. You start getting better stuff.
Yep.
All in the quest for getting that epic gear.
Yep. Which has always been a strange thing to me, because by the time you get that epic gear, you're playing on a hard enough difficulty level that epic gear does 2 points of damage, and it's just, you might as well have a stick with a feather on the end of it.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. And but as far as the story goes, we were already playing through nightmare mode on the next thing, and we realized, oh, there's just all these dangling threads from Diablo 3 that just aren't really resolved.
No.
Or they weren't even really addressed. So, yeah, it's very much an ongoing story, which I appreciate, but when you've got so long between installments, it really loses its effectiveness. So the story was pretty much, okay, yeah, it was Diablo, demons, war with celestial entities, whatever.
Okay. I'm curious to know, after playing the game for that long, did having multiple UIs on the screen get in the way of kind of the action? Or
no, it's actually very seamless. Okay. They've remapped the controls and everything to where they use the radial menus very well with the analog sticks.
And that seemed a little clumsy when we were playing, or just the inventory management of going through those menus with the radial sticks.
I didn't have a problem with it at all. Okay. Yeah, and they keep everything very minimal. Your UI in game is relegated to a corner. To your corner of the screen. Okay. And I didn't think it became obtrusive whatsoever.
Okay. So other than that, I mean, is there anything from Diablo 3 that has been added or removed from the game?
There is no real money auction house.
Oh, that'll make people quite happy.
That was gone. Yeah. And
how the fuck would they even... How would they even do that? Do you buy Microsoft points and then use that?
I'm sure that was part of the discussion, was that Microsoft was going to take a cut of it or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not in there at all, which is fine. I never would have used that. I didn't want to play online. The whole reason I bought the game was because, this will be fun for Allison and I to play together. And it was.
Yeah.
It was a perfect game for people to sit on a couch together and play, rather than jumping online and playing with someone and scheduling your coordinates. It's, hey, do you want to play Diablo a bit? Yeah, okay, cool. We'll play a few missions or whatever.
Good jump in, jump out, just kind of
very much is. Yeah.
Okay. No real money auction house. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, this is one thing that I was curious about. Is just out of curiosity, Did it seem to take any kind of graphical hit from the PC?
It's hard to say because I haven't played Diablo 3 since it came out in, April? Was it April of 2013? Was that right?
2012?
Was it 2012? It was 2012.
It was last year. When
Yeah,
Diablo
that's right.
3 came out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's been even longer. Yeah, that's right. It was 2012. Spring of 2012.
Okay.
I think it doesn't look quite as good.
Okay.
But it still looks good.
Acceptable for a console, probably. You wouldn't want to do a direct comparison with the PC.
No. But it is a...
frame rate stay good? I mean, we get a lot of stuff on
it was
screens
fine.
that hitch up,
I only saw it chug along like once or twice.
And that's on the 360, right?
It was on the 360, yeah. And I thought it ran really pretty seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
But graphics-wise, I think it took a little bit of a hit from the PC, but not much. I mean, it's still a really good-looking, very detailed, lots of great environments and everything, although... as you and I discussed, a lot of the environments are kind of repeated from Diablo 2.
Yeah, that's kind of a core issue with Diablo 3, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds
like you start off in Tristram, and then you go to the desert, and yeah.
Yep.
So there's a lot of repetition there, but it does introduce some new ones that we haven't seen before at all.
Okay.
You've still got, a lot of the same monsters, a lot of different monsters. There's a great variety of enemies. Your rare enemies pop up every now and then.
Now, you didn't get to you haven't played it on Inferno though, right?
No, I have not.
Okay, I've heard I heard so many different things about Inferno that I wasn't entirely sure whether I heard that when they first launched it that it was kind of broken.
Oh, really?
Well, there were a lot of people that I knew who played. Because I don't play shit on super hard difficulty level.
Right.
There are a lot of people who played it on harder difficulty levels that seem to have problems with the way that it was laid out. But I know that Blizzard has patched that a bunch since then. So I'm guessing that whatever those patches are have probably been translated over into this version.
Yeah.
But you want to give a rating?
Yeah.
Anything else anybody needs to know, you think? Or?
Not that I can think of. I think it's a great time. I mean, if you've already spent your time on Diablo 3, which I did.
Yeah.
But you want that party environment of, hey, everybody grab a controller, we're going to jump in and run through a dungeon or something like that.
Right.
This is definitely worth it. I bought Diablo 3 having already gotten my fair share of fun out of the PC version, and I actually enjoyed it even more this time.
Really? Just because of the multiplayer?
Yeah, just because of the multiplayer and having someone sitting next to you and playing that and having that, I thought it was a much more social feel. So it's not a perfect game, but I really enjoyed it. I can't really find a lot of flaws with it, so I'm going to give it 4.5 stars.
4.5? Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I think it's really a testament to Blizzard's giving this game a lot of TLC in that I have already played it a lot on the PC and picked it up again on the console.
So here's the $6 million question. Is there any way in hell you're going to continue playing this now that Grand Theft Auto 5 is out?
I don't even remember. You said the magic word. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Sorry, Diablo.
They should pray for the mercy of a swift death.